I'm usually on about 8:30, but it's 8 o'clock here. We're going to do some interesting things tonight. I already have a few people on my list, and I'm going to go ahead and get into it and start. I'm doing Name-erology this evening because I thought that was a fun name. If you guys didn't know, there is a numerology associated with each letter and with your name. I know that most of you guys know that your birth date will tell you your life path number, 1 through 9. Your name can also tell you the same thing. So here's the thing. I am going to be looking at your personal information up here. I will not be putting anyone's birth date or name down where it can be seen, but I am going to work it all out right here in front of you guys. And I'll hold it up for you guys to see. I will tell you what your life path number is according to your birth date and your name. Okay? So I'm going to do these kind of in alphabetical order as they come in. So right now I have 9 people on my list. I have April Williams, Carrie Cobain, Christina, Kami, Christine Carver, Jade Steed, Renee Leonard, Sylvie, Tiffany, and I cannot pronounce your name, V, so I am not going to myrtleize it. I will say, too, I have somebody whose thing is pending. I don't know what that means, so hopefully it'll release. I've never had it do that before, so we'll see what's going on. But if you guys would like to get a ticket, it is on my link tree there. You can grab your ticket. These all will take me just a minute to do. So I feel like we need music for that. Am I right? Yes. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. For those of you guys watching on YouTube, I have, due to some of the fun trolls on there, there's not really comments tonight. I'm just letting you know. So yeah. All right. Ready? Ready? So April, you are first. And I'm doing your name and your birth path number. Gotcha. So first of all, I should have taken these off earlier because it's hard for me to write with a bunch of bracelets on. How about some blues this evening? Yeah? Yeah? The answer is yes. Thank you, phones, for reminding me. We're not going to use this pen. This pen wants to be a butthole. Better. I'm going to move you guys down slightly like this. Lots of 9s in your name. So this is how your name looks. Obviously, it's mirrored. This is how your name looks, April, numerically. You gotta love that. So your first name is actually really, really strong. So it adds up to 29. You add 2 and 9 together. That's 11. You add 1 and 1 together. That's 2. So normally 2 isn't, this is just your first name, okay? So normally 2 is an interesting number. More of a calm number, etc. But being that it's made from an 11, a 1, and a 1, that makes it a much, much stronger name. But let's move on. Interesting. Your middle name equals a 28. Almost the same. So your name path number is a 7. So your first name is a 2, your middle name is a 1, your last name is a 4. So all that equals a 7. 7s are very, very interesting. So the book that I'm using to do this and some of the numerical meanings is one of the original numerology books. According to this, the character and influence of the number 7 is a mysterious, dark, obscure, unaccountable number, probably called so because its influence is not understood. It's a number lacking expression and is highly conservative and retired. It is not the number of influence and the most favorable for starting a progressive business, but it is a number of self-satisfaction and outward poise. It also has a very strong repose as far as how you come across to other people. It finds its inception in old monastery times, and 7 has the vibration of in the world, but not of the world. It's not a number to seek out glory or all of this fame with their own self, but it's actually a number of self-expression. You're going to be the happiest when you have your solitude, when you have your privacy, when you have a space that you can retreat to and you can simply be who you are. It's a really important number and leads right back to the soul, the quiet, an unexpressed state, and demonstrates a self-conscious state of self-sufficiency. So 7 is a very, very self-sufficient number. So let's see what your birth date is, because here's one of the things when you guys are thinking about naming a kiddo, if you follow numerology at all, their birth date is one thing, but their name is a completely different. So your birth date actually equals a number 65. You put that together, it's a number 11. And then you put 1 and 1 together, that's the number 2. 2 and 7 go very, very well together because, like I said, there is your number, your birth date number. So according to your birth date, you are a life path number 2. According to your name number, you're a life path 7. So 2 is a very masculine number, and 2 is a feminine number. 1 is the masculine number. It's very receptive. It's very kind. It's very dogmatic and peace loving. It's not one of those numbers that has to be in the limelight. That's why 2 and 7 go amazingly well together. 2 is one of those numbers that is very refined. It's very gentle. It is great for people that want to be in some type of personal, professional, etc. situation that allows you to help other people. 2 is also a material thing. It's a collector. There are probably at least a couple of things that you love to collect that you want to have all the time. People that have a life path of 2 with their birth date are very charming. They're very endearing. They have a lot of affection. I can't even say the word affection. They also have a lot of attachments to words. So they really love to use their words instead of being a physical person. Number 2, they want everybody to be happy. They're very friendly and they make friends very, very easily. So according to your birth date, your birth path number, and your name path number, all of that flows together extremely well. So your parents did a good job in naming you what they named you. So there are going to be some of you guys that I do this evening that you're going to clash. Your name is going to clash with your birth date. It just is what it is. But the good thing is, by knowing each one of these and knowing what your name says and knowing what your birth date says about you, then you can see where the clash is and work to fix it. So that's the wonderful thing about these types of readings. So April, your birth date, according to your birth date, your life path number is a 2, but according to your name, your life path is a number 7. Okay? All right, Miss Carrie, you are next. So your life path, your name path number, excuse me, is a number 8. And we'll get to that here in just a minute. But your birth path number is a 2. Okay, so let's talk about the number 8 first. Get over to the right page here so I can read it all. All right, so 8. So here's your name across the bottom of there. Let's do it like that. So you have a very interesting name. You have a lot of 5s in your name. Every single one has 5s. I just think that's very interesting. I always look for patterns, but yeah. So it all equals up to the number 17, which then is 1 and 7 is 8. So it gives you a name life path number of 8, but your birth date is a 2. So 8 is a number of really intense scientific mentality. You need to see it. You need to physically feel it, touch it. You have to have physical proof of something, okay? It is a number of business, of material achievement, of self-assertiveness, and of business success. It may also be classed as a vibration of accomplishment, attainment, and acquirement. So you are really happy when you feel you have attained something important, when you have attained success. 8 is a wonderful name for anybody that has a very logical approach to their career, etc. It's not a good, so if you are trying to be very artistic as a number 8, it's not going to work out. 8 is like, if you think of the difference between like Janis Joplin and Neil deGrasse Tyson, like Neil deGrasse Tyson is an 8, Janis Joplin would be like a 2, okay? According to this. It spreads a lot of influences of discernment, analysis, technicality. It also gives a very self-positive atmosphere. So you are very, very good at your own self-power and improving other people's self-power. The whole mission of someone whose path number is 8 is acquirement, achievement, and execution. It's a very high free number and has a universal sympathy and understanding. So you literally can get along with anybody in any situation. So we already talked about the number 2 a little bit. This is where you do kind of clash a little bit, because the number 8 and the number 2, they don't obviously go super well together, because 8 is a number of success, of drive, of go, go, go. I need to see it. I need to feel it. I need to touch it. But number 2 is more, I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to get along, things like that. Blondie, I wish you the life you deserve, Sugarfoot. Have a good evening. 2 is a very kind, diplomatic, etc. So when you can go from the number 8 to the number 2 and you can go back and forth, that's where you're going to be the most successful. But you're going to have to be really careful, because whenever you are full on in your number 2 aspect, as in being very gentle, being very helpful, being very nurturing, it clashes with your need to drive forward. So a lot of times people can seem like sorry about that. There is absolutely a no tolerance policy this evening, y'all. Not doing it. Sorry, Carrie. It just is what it is. You can come across as being kind of fake, and people think that you're trying too hard to be their friend, even though you are sincere and it's exactly how you are. Because you're so driven, it can clash. You see what I'm saying? People can take your kindness as weakness, or they can take your kindness as being fake or something. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to words it correctly here. But as long as you have that number 2 aspect of your birth date working well with your number 8, as long as you have something you're driving forward, as long as you have a way that you can measure your own success and still be nurturing, then you're going to be happy. Or as long as you can be nurturing and happy and friendly and make sure that everybody around you is good and promote self-empowerment, that's going to make you happy as well. All right, Miss Kami, you are next. You know, I love this music, but at the same time, it's a little too slow. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I need some, like, good, yeah. Better. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Sorry if I stopped. I was going to lose my place where I was because someone has a long name. So this is how I'm getting everything. I am doing good, Lone Wolf. How are you? Wow, my Oklahoman came out. Lone Wolf. Thank you for that. Hey, Gavin, how are you? Well, your name path is a 1, so that's very interesting. Let's look at your birth path number. So you have one of the best combinations. I'm just saying. So your name path is a 1. Your life path, your birth date path is an 8. Number 1 is a very masculine number. It's very strong. It's very forceful. It's very active, creative. It's very individualized. It's very strong. It's very bold. It's very, now don't take this wrong when I say it this way, okay? It's a very self-centered number. And usually if you're not careful, you can get tunnel vision. 1s can easily get tunnel vision. 1, like the life path of 1, so this is your name, means that you overanalyze everything. You analyze everything according to where you are right then. So your standards are always changing and shifting. You know what I mean? A lot of times a number 1 can be too bold. They can be too open, too fresh, too in the face, too much for a lot of people. But the one thing about a number 1, this is you, Kami. The one thing about a number 1 is this. You feel like you have to have a lot of planning. You are a very idea-driven person. You don't like to come across an obstacle, a difficulty. A lot of times people that are a number 1, they are able to roll right over all of those obstacles. 1 is the like foundation, the cornerstone for everything else. I love that your name is a number 1 and then your birth date is a number 8, because 8 is success, achievement. It's a vibration of accomplishment, of attainment. Like we kind of went through a little bit on the number 8 a second ago too. It is very discerning. It helps promote positivity in other people. Just because I know you a little bit personally from, speaking to you in person and stuff like that. The way that your number 8 and your number 1 come together here, you come across as too much for some people. And I think that has affected you a lot. It's easier for me to read her a little bit just because I know, if I kind of know you a little bit personally, it's a little easier. But Kami, you come across as too much for people because this is an extremely powerful combination. It's an extremely powerful combination. So people are going to say, okay, well, your energy is too much, or I bet you've been accused of like nagging or reminding somebody of something too much, or, it doesn't always have to be this way, but you get set in a way and you want to be it this way. You want to be it this way. That's a them problem. I'm having a really weird deja vu moment right now. I don't know if I like it or not. Let me just say that. I don't know if I like it or not. You are always going to be too much for a lot of people, because this right here is a super powerful, super driven combination. Your parents absolutely set you up for success here. And I know it may not seem like it, but I'm hoping that me telling you this, what your name path number means and what your birth path number means. A lot of you guys may already know your birth path number. It is completely different than your name path number. Sometimes it might be the same. You might be a 1 and a 1, but an 8 and a 1 together, that is a major, powerful combination. I know that you struggle a lot with certain things in life. And I would really love for you to kind of research what the life path number 1 means and life path number 8 means, because that's where you are. You're at that combination of those two. If you are too much for people, if you are intimidating, if you are too laser focused and so on and so forth, that is a them problem. Okay? That is a them problem. You need to take both of these life path numbers and you need to use them to your advantage. So I know sometimes it's easier said than done, and letting other things bother you, letting other people bother you. But this combination right here, you are kind of above it, if that makes sense. That's why you feel so disconnected. Just saying. Does that make sense? You are so welcome. So even though I'm going through very quickly, like what your name path number means and so on, y'all feel free to fall down the rabbit hole. Looking up, life path number 1, it's 1 through 9. So if you're looking up those life path numbers, you're going to find so much. So much about that number. I'm just giving you the tip of the iceberg. I'm just giving you the tip of the iceberg. All right, Miss Christine, you on next. All right. So your name path number is a 2, but it's a powerful 2 because it is 11. So 1 and 1 equals 2. So that's a very powerful 2. Your birth path number is a 5. Okay, interesting. So let's start with the number 2, because we already talked about, we've talked about the number 2 in length. But like I said, when it comes from like a 2 and a 0, that is like every number has like a stronger to a lower version. Does that make sense? So 1 and 1, 2 power numbers equaling 2. That's a very powerful 2. So you are at home. You are happy when you're helping people. You are happy when you can nurture people, when everybody around you is happy. You are very receptive. 2 is a very, very feminine number. It's very kind, diplomatic, peace-loving. It's far from having a massive, like, over-the-top influence. Like a number 1, those are people that they are just leaders, whether you love them or you hate them. They're very polarizing figures. However, number 2s, they can get along with anybody, and they want to make sure that they have a deeper influence in a more gentle way. Those are the people that when you really care about this person, all they have to do is say something like, I'm disappointed in you, and you will break them. Whereas ones can just give you a look. Ones can scream and yell and absolutely break people, but 2s have that very soft influence. I love that this is a number 5. Woo! Your birth path number, according to like your birth date, is a 5. And you're going to laugh at this because the very first sentence in this, so like I said, I'm reading this from a 1939 original numerology book. The influence of the number 5 tends toward excitement, nervousness, and I can't pronounce this other word, but basically it's temptation. But 5 is a vibration that's different from the ordinary in that it is easily double-sided. People that have the number 5 are compared to a man sitting on a fence leaning one way and then the other. One way and then the other. Never quite certain which directions their best interest lies. This is like a yin and a yang, a Gemini sign, where it's two-sided, where they can be constructive and destructive at the same time. So you can be super happy and cheerful and at the same time be very melancholy, and you can't explain why you're melancholy because you're happy at the same time. 5 doesn't really have a religious vibration, which is why people that have a life path number of 5, whether it's a birthday or their name, sometimes have a problem with very organized religion. They see holes in all of it, but at the same time, they kind of tend to believe all of it. 5 is like a very omniscient number, if that makes sense. 5 is also one of those numbers that is very spiritual and very material at the same time. So you like your things, but you also love the spiritual aspect of those things. 5 also is, you really love things that have a dual purpose. You really love the ritual and the ceremony of things. I would not be surprised to know if you don't love to watch things like that on TV, etc. You know, big, massive weddings or, you know, funerals or whatever, things that have a very strict way of doing them. 5s are often misunderstood. Just so you know, 5s are often misunderstood. They can come across one way and completely be trying to go the other way. You might be trying to be really gentle with someone and they think you're being forceful as fuck, or vice versa. So having a 5 and a 2 together, those numbers go very well together, but the problem is those numbers, that also gets you taken advantage of a lot, because even though you might be trying to be very forceful, you're coming across as very soft, and people take that for weakness. Number twos almost always get taken advantage of. They almost always get taken advantage of. So, yeah. Fives and twos, those two numbers work very well together. But like I said, yeah. They get taken advantage of a lot. Whew. I like when I talk too much and then I start yawning because I don't breathe. This is what it is. This is what it is. All right, Jade, you are next. So see, as I'm doing these and I'm giving you your birth path from your birthday and your name path from your name, you can tell if your parents did a good job naming you or not. Just say, because I mean, sometimes we don't choose when our kid comes, you know, but yeah. All right, here we go. I'm just curious, for those of you guys that were born in the late 70s and went to school in the 80s, how many of you guys were taught touch math? I'm just curious. How many of y'all were part of that experiment? The dots on the numbers? Yep. Yeah. The reason I ask is because how many of you guys too, okay, how many of you guys were taught touch math and it handicapped you when it came to multiplication, and it still has handicapped you now as you're older? So touch math is this. I'm going to show you in a bigger way here, okay? And then we're going to finish you, Jade, okay? I know this is going to be backwards because it's mirrored. Okay, this is the number 5. So with touch math, there are dots on the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you're counting, you touched your pen to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Not everybody was taught this. Not everybody was taught this. It was like an experiment. If you guys look up touch math, oh my God, I'm gonna have to do a video on it. If y'all have never heard of it, yeah, if y'all have never heard of it, I'm gonna have to do a video on it. But this right here, I think every single person that was taught touch math back in the day got handicapped, because I had a horrible time learning multiplication. I had a horrible time. I'm better now that I'm older, but I had a horrible, horrible time learning it. See, a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about. With the name path, you need to use your birth name, the name you were given at birth. So here's why. Sometimes, okay, let me give you me as an example, and I wish I had my notebook in here where I did mine. I took my actual name when I was born. So I was adopted when I was 7. I've been married twice. You know, I have too many last names, but I had to use my last name when I was born, which I haven't written since I was 7. So it was so foreign for me to see that name. But I looked at that name, compared my birth date path is a number 1. So I'm a number 1. And that makes complete perfect sense. But I've always disliked my name, like my actual name. In fact, through school, I struggled with going by my first name or my middle name. I went by my middle name for a long time. I didn't really connect with either one of them. Okay. When I started going by Bodhi instead of by my other name, and I literally call it my other name. When I started going by Bodhi, Bodhi is also a life path 1. So Bodhi Blue and my birthday are both number 1. So they line up together. And when I started going by Bodhi, my whole life changed. Does that make sense? So this is something that if you guys are considering a name change, if you are considering what you're going to name your kid, things like that, getting married, do you take on your other person's name? Do you hyphenate it, etc.? All of those things are going to affect how you move in your life going forward. So if you guys have, you use your original birth name, okay? It may not be the name you go by, but it's the name that governs things. Does that make sense? So whenever I was looking at my actual name versus Bodhi, I am now 100% sure that I will legally change my name this year. I am 100% sure. I've been on the fence about it. But after seeing that and seeing that my actual name, my birth name, and even my name now, my legal name now, clash with the number 1. It clashes so hardcore. So, just saying. All right. So Jade, your name is an 8. We already discussed 8. 8 is very, very driven, very material, success, a lot of self-assertiveness. It is a vibration of accomplishment. Like you are happy when you can see those goals being hit, when you can influence the situation. You are someone that's very analytic. You love technology. You love technicalities. You love very positive atmospheres. You don't like to be around people who are very negative. It can be a very dominating number, so you have to be kind of careful. I'm dying to see what your birth path is. Let's look. So 3. Well, you are the first 3 of the evening. So 3 is a number of expression, of enunciation. You love to speak. You love to write. You love to paint. You love to dance. You love to act. The principal characteristics of number 3 is being very happy, being very cheerful, liking to live in a place of ecstasy, if that makes sense, like where everything is just awesome. 3 is a number of giving joy to other people. So these 2 numbers can clash. They're not like an instant, oh God, that's a clash, but they can clash. So here's the thing, Jade, okay? Because this number 8 has dominated your life, both of these numbers have kind of been like this. So sometimes you are very goal-oriented, you're very driven, that number 8 really takes hold, and you are just on it. Goals, 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 goals. But then that number 3 takes hold and you just want to be creative and out in the woods and not doing anything and fuck humanity, you know, things like that. So you just kind of back and forth like this. So if you can get the two of these together, if you can find your happiness and your goals at the same place, that is going to be a rocket forward. So one of the things that I'm going to recommend, Jade, is because that number 3 and that number 8, it's a very fine teeter-totter there, and you have to stand just on it to make sure that it's even. Find a way to incorporate all of this creative aspect that makes the number 3 part happy and make that a goal. That makes the number 8 part happy. Does that make sense? Even if you have two numbers that clash together, you can find a happy balance in between. Okay? So I hope that helps, Jade, because I have a feeling that you've kind of been fighting with yourself on some things. That makes sense? I have some candles going over there that I'm checking on. That I'm just checking on and watching. All right. Miss Renee Leonard, you are next. Thank you, Jade. That scared the shit out of me for a minute. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Why do I hear all that? Thank you so much, Jade, honey. I love that he comes running up and he's like, meow. That's like the cutest fucking thing. I wish they lasted a little longer. You know what I mean? It's funny. Your first name is almost all 5s. Miss Renee. It's almost all 5. Yeah, longer would be better. Some of them are really long. They take a while. It's like, why can't they all be that way? Especially those bigger ones like that. It does sound like an actual cat, doesn't it? Lots of 5s in your name, too. Well, that's interesting. Your first name and your middle name both add up to 29, which is 11, which equals 2. That's interesting. Okay. My nose is itchy. So your name path is a 7. Your name path is a 7. You have a lot of 5s in there. I don't know. That's just interesting that they both equal 29, which is 11, which is 2. So, yeah. I think that's interesting. And then your birth path number, like your birthday, that one is a 3. So, we just talked about 3, but we're going to talk about 3 first and then 7, okay? 3 is that number of super creativity, of singing, dancing, painting, writing, acting, all of those things. You are someone that brings a lot of joy to other people. People smile when you come in the room. People are sad when you leave. It's a very expressive number. These are the people that, I mean, you literally wear your heart on your sleeve. You love to be happy. I mean, not that anybody doesn't like to be happy, but y'all all know that there are some people that I like it better when it rains. You know what I mean? But not you. You are that person. You like to be happy. You want everybody around you to be happy, but you are like the sunshine that comes into the room. Does that make sense? Everybody knows someone like that. When they come into the room, the whole room lights up, and when they leave, the room dims a little bit. That's your birth date. Okay? So the number 7 is the number that's very, very obscure. It has a really interesting influence around it. Sometimes it tends to lack expression and be very, very conservative. It is not a number that is very physical. It doesn't like to take a lot of big progressive stances on things. It is the in the world, not of the world thing. So there's a lot of solitude, a lot of privacy, a lot of retreating into your own little shell, and so on. Sevens lead from behind. Sevens do not like to lead out in front. They're very quiet and very poised. So these two right here, your 3 and your 7, clash. They clash a lot. So that tells me that throughout your life, you've had a lot of clashes with yourself. Like, do I be open and boisterous and happy and creative and doing all these things? Or do I just kind of go sit in my room and chill and shut the whole world out? So you really have to fight. You have to fight shutting the rest of the world out. The good thing about these two together is this. I gotta yawn. The good thing about these two is this. Since 7s love solitude, it's fantastic for creativity, which is what 3s love. So give yourself some time every day to have some solitude and to create in that moment. Whether it's just some doodles on a paper, whether it's spray painting something, whatever it is. I don't know why I said spray painting something, but whatever. Whatever it is, let the two of those work together. Force them to work together instead of trying to fight yourself on a daily basis, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I was looking at what was going on over there on YouTube. So, like I said, guys, once you have your name path and your life path number, like, fall down that rabbit hole. Totally fall down that rabbit hole. Oh, psychic medium Carrie, sweetheart. Thank you for coming into my live. I was going to let them see how many they were going to message. Scammers be scamming. I don't get it. Just saying what I'm saying. Just saying what I'm saying. All right. Miss Sylvie, you are next. A 9. So your name number is a 9. Your name number is a 9. V, you are next, love. I'm on Sylvie right now, but you're next. Your birth path, your life path number, according to your birth date, is a 5. This one is a 9. All right. So let's talk about that number 9 first, okay? There we go. So 9 is a very, very universal influence. It is the number of love. It represents the highest essence of universal and personal love. As 1 is the beginning, 9 is the ending as far as these numbers go. Okay? They're really, really far apart in their influences. So if you guys wind up with one that's a number 1 and one that's a number 9, that is a super clash. Super clash. Okay? 9 has an influence for expression, for art, is very helpful to have a number 9 path for a speaker, an actor, a singer, anything that allows really intense self-expression. 9 is also not really a number that's very personal. So you tend to take a lot of joy and happiness in doing a lot of things for other people. I would not be surprised to know if you're a gifter, if gifting is one of your love languages, or service is one of your love languages, like doing things for other people. 9s are usually very, very good at life, just in general. They may not be crazy successful. They may not be crazy out there in front of everybody, but as they like start to master their environment around them, then they start to, their adulting level of the chaos is really high. Does that make sense? Like, so 5 is interesting because that one is excitement, kind of nervousness, being tempted by a lot of things. 5 is the one we were talking about that's very on the fence, that you fight with yourself over what you want to do and don't do. So these two do clash because a 9 is very driven to want to push forward, want to help this person and help that person. So here's where they clash a lot, okay? The 5 part of you, you want to help too many people at the same time. So you want to help this person, and then you want to help this person, and then you want to help this person, and then this person. So you end up giving away all of your energy, all of your time, all of everything because you're trying to do too many things at once. You also can sometimes give a very interesting feel to people. Like when you're helping somebody with a problem or giving them advice, you can be very optimistic and then very pessimistic at the same time. So they're gonna be like, "Wait, you just said this. What? It's the what?" So just saying, it's gonna be one or the other. I think it's very, very funny that that you are a 5 and a 9. So what I'm going to say, Sylvie, is look up the life path 5, like what that means, and look up 9. Look at the pros, and this is for all of you, okay? Look at 4. Look at 5, the pros and cons of it. Look at 9, the pros and cons of it. Look at where the cons of both numbers lie and see where you can even them out with the two of them. The one thing you're going to have to really be careful of, and I'm sure that you've already learned this lesson a few times in your life, is trying to be of service and trying to help too many people at once. Because that number 9 aspect of you, you want to help everybody. You do. You want to give everybody everything. You want to help everybody. But the 5 part of you keeps you hopping from this person to that person. So you don't ever really get to finish one thing before you're hopping to something else. So you feel like you're extremely busy all the time and you never get caught up because you're constantly hopping to one thing to another. Does that make sense? All right. V, you are next, love. Thank you, Sylvie, love. So after I do this one, I will give you guys the rest of the list. So V, you only put your middle initial. So I need your whole middle name. I can do some of it with just your first name and your last name. But it is just the initial, that's it? Cool. That made it easy for you to learn as a kid, right? That's interesting. I love it. So, see, I did the opposite to my youngest kid. My youngest kid has 2 middle names, and one of them is pretty long. Okay. That's awesome. So your dad's name is just K. That's actually my kid's nickname. It's just K. Just letter K. Oh, okay. Your dad gave you just his initial. Gotcha. Does he not like his name then? I love it. I love that. See, I think that's really cool. It's too masculine. Oh, okay. So he didn't want to. Okay, I see why it's just K. I got it. I understand. I understand his reasoning there. All right. Let's see what you are. I added an extra 1 in there, and I don't know why. No, I'm right. I'm on crack. Don't listen to me. I probably shouldn't say that. It still comes out of my face all the time. Ooh, your name number is a 2. You get taken advantage of so much, it's not even funny. Because your name number is a 2, but your birth number is a 9. So yeah, the number 2 is that very feminine, very, I want everybody to be happy. let me help you, putting yourself way, way, way last. Like everything comes before you. It's very peace loving. You do not like arguments. You do not like conflict. You absolutely are the nurturing. You are, if there was nurturing in the dictionary, like your face would be there. You know what I mean? The 9 is that one that's all about love, that represents the highest essence of the universe and personal love and being very steadfast and enduring. So not only do you get taken advantage of, but you want everybody to be happy so you don't ever leave the situation. What I do love though is not, and whoever I just did, oh, Sylvie, I forgot to read this bottom part. Okay, so 9 is considered the father of all vibrations and the most developed. The name with many 9s is also well equipped to face existing circumstances of living the day out. So both of you have several 9s in your name, just so you know. But you endure so much having that birth date of number 9. Like you didn't get to choose that one. You endure so much. Thank you, one of a kind. Thank you for all the kitty scratches. But the 2 part of your name means that you are a people pleaser. So you really, really want to make everybody happy. So here's the thing about this, and I saw Sylvie ask this, so I'll repeat this a few times throughout here. If you just go on Google and you Google life path 9, life path 1, life path 3, you're going to find tons of articles. So just kind of give yourself 10-20 minutes to fall down the rabbit hole on each number. And it wouldn't hurt for you guys to have a notepad and make some notes, like pros, cons. You see what I'm saying? And then that way you can go through and do that. Yeah, that's what I'd recommend. Just kind of fall down the rabbit hole a little bit. You're going to find so much information about life path numbers, what they mean, like good careers for you, numbers to stay away from. So like, here's the other thing that you can do. You can look at somebody. This is another reason to have somebody's birthday. You can literally look at their birthday and see what their life path number is and see if they clash with yours or not. Just saying what I'm saying. Just saying what I'm saying. All right. I like this playlist. So my tickets are sold out for the evening, just so you guys know. Man, y'all filled up my list like that. Like, holy cow. All right. So let's see. Tiffany is next. I'm just going to go ahead and write everybody out. So I have you. So Miss Tiffany M, you're next. Then Miss Susie. Alexandria. Colette. I love that name. It's just so different. Rebecca. Then Ruth. And if you guys get sleepy, fall asleep, you go to bed, whatever, just know that I am filming this on YouTube, so you can go back and watch it at any time. Penny. That way I've got my list. Miss Rita. Then Shelly. Then Alicia. Then Dawn. Then Miss Renee G. All right. So I have, here's the rest of my list, okay? Ellen's is still processing. I don't know what's going on with that. That's weird. So Tiffany, Susie, Alexandria, Colette, Rebecca, Ruth, Penny, Rita, Shelly, Alicia, Dawn, and then Renee G. Okay? All right. Miss Tiffany. Okay, so why do I have that name on there? Hang on. But Xavier, I've got yours too. What the hell? All right, hold on. Because one of you guys has two. Am I correct? Okay, Alexandria. Okay, I'm like, why do I have one, but I have a name? So Alexandria, Xavier's with yours. Let me make sure to put that. Okay. Gotcha. I gotcha. I got you, love. I'll do one and then the other. I'm on it. Thank you, Leanne. All right, Miss Tiffany Merriman, you ready? What's funny is I love that. So I have that name that like you knew damn well if you were in trouble or what, not just because someone used your middle name, but the tone of that middle name. Oh, Tiffany, you've got one of those names too, don't you? Like, not that they're not all like that, but some of them are way worse than others. Y'all know exactly what I mean. Y'all know exactly what I mean. All right, here we go. Wow, instead of writing the number 1, I wrote the letter A. All right, then. All right, we're going to start over because my brain is dumb right now. Ugh. Actually, it just got excited. So your name path is a 4. But your life path is a 1. Okay. Your birthday life path is the number 1. Yeah, that's so weird. I've never seen it do that before. Like, it's weird. It's weird. So I will say, D, if it's still pending and it goes through or whatever later, I can totally do that. That's what I was going to say. I can either put you first on my list for the next one, because I'll probably do this again next Sunday. This is like my new fascination right now. I'm just letting y'all know. I'm just letting you know. It's my new fascination. I don't like math, but I am fucking fascinated with this. So if it doesn't go through tonight, I got you, okay? I'll make sure to get you on the next one, or we'll get it figured out, okay? All right. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this number 4. So we're going to talk about your name path, okay? So that's number 4. You are lucky. You're lucky. You are so welcome. Words are not wordsing this evening. Very wordsy well. It's been a thing all weekend. It's been a thing. It's been a thing. Oh yeah. So I'm just gonna let you know. There's a code with dreams according to numerology. We'll be getting into that too. I'm just letting you know. It's gonna be a thing. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's gonna be a thing. All right. So let's talk about this 4, Tiffany. Okay. So 4 is very creative and a very tenacious strength on you personally. I know, right, Sass? Right, Sass? 4s are a very heavy, very physical number. You overanalyze everything, and sometimes you want to over discuss everything. But you're also very stubborn. Once you set your mind to something, like, you absolutely cannot switch from that. 4s that are very undeveloped. So like when you're little, you know what I mean? When you're little, you really, I bet, had a very interesting temper and kind of lashed out and yelled a little bit and so on and so forth. Oh, honey, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I went ahead and blocked that one. They came in the other night saying some shit, and y'all muted them too. But you know what? If you want to come in multiple times and say some shit, like, have the life you deserve, Sugarfoot. That's going to serve you really, really well in life. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Like, it is what it is, you know? Ow. All right. So I would bet, Tiffany, as a kiddo, you had a pretty hot temper, and I would bet that it's kind of doing this a little bit. You know what I mean? As long as you're able to be an individual, and as long as you're able to be creative and fall down the rabbit hole that you want to fall down, that 4 serves you really, really well. Like, you get super hyper fixated, focused on something, and you can't let go of it. The life path 1, this tells me that even as you've gotten older, you're still a little stubborn. You're still a lot stubborn. 1s are very, very stubborn. Just letting you know, 1s are super stubborn. But 1s are also very bold. They're very in your face. They're very strong. They're very, very individualized. They also overanalyze everything, meaning that number 4 and that number 1 really, really cause you a lot of problems because they work together way too well. There's a lot of brute force, brute strength with that boldness. I mean, 1s lead in the front. They like to be the leader. They want everyone to do what they say, like, we're going to do it this way, my way, or the highway kind of thing. But 1s also take the risks that other people are not they don't want to take. Ones are the absolute leaders of the pack. So these two both at the same time work very well together and can cause you a ton of problems. They don't clash. They work together very well, but the problem is that you get so hyper fixated on something, you get so stuck on something that you can't let go of it. So, Miss Tiffany, I would highly recommend looking up both of these numbers, the pros and cons, and seeing where you can soften them both, what will help soften them out a little bit, okay? Because that is two very powerful, very intense life path numbers together. And for the record, nobody argue with Tiffany M, okay? To be honest, I've known more than a few Tiffany's in my life. Y'all don't argue with any Tiffany. I'm just saying, every single Tiffany I know is very hard-headed. Just saying what I'm saying. Thank you guys for all the kitty paws. Y'all know too. If y'all know a Tiffany, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Tell me I'm wrong. All right, Miss Susie. Next. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. See? Y'all know I'm right. They are very spicy. Y'all know I'm right. Y'all know I'm right. My favorite scent, I don't really know. I have a ton of ones that I love. And like even the ones that I don't really like love, I mean, I can put them with something else and make them smell amazing. You know what I mean? So yeah. And I saw someone asking earlier about the scents that were in those candles. There are 4 different scents. There are 2 in each layer. So yeah. All right. Oh, Canadian to US. Yeah, it could be. It absolutely could be. So, Christine, will you kind of put on my notes that if hers doesn't go through, that we'll put her first on the next one? Because, yeah. Yours caught on fire. Did the little thing be down as Ellen? I saw you, sugar. I got you. So I had some people that were using the plastic ball. That's what I was worried about. Yeah. So yeah. Aw. Thank you, V. I'm almost old enough to be your mom. Almost. Not quite. Almost. So Kami, did you get a stone or a little tarot pendant in yours? Or was there just absolutely nothing left? Because if there was absolutely nothing left, I can tell you what was in it. Hey! Hey, Castillo, how are you? I think I followed you back, didn't I? Yes. How are you? I totally remember. I've been really good. If you guys don't remember, I've actually talked about you a couple of times because you made my whole day. Like I was being a cranky shit that day. Like I was really being I was the toddler in the car and I didn't want to be in the car anymore. So seeing you and meeting you like made my whole day better. So just so you know, I really wanted McDonald's French fries. We couldn't find a McDonald's. And my son was like, well, I want Subway. And I was sitting in the car, my arms crossed like, I don't want Subway, you know? So, and then when we went in there, I was like, all right, it smells good. I do want Subway. And then, yeah, it made my whole day better. I just want you to know. So, yeah. And you were like the cutest thing when you leaned over the counter and you were like, I follow you on TikTok. It was the cutest thing. I just want you to know. So, yeah. So I'll tell you guys the story. My son and I were on our way from Oklahoma to Vegas for a convention that I was at. There's something poking me on my pants right there, and I don't like it. I don't like it a lot. It's stupid. Okay, I'm gonna clip that off tomorrow. Anyway, they're new pants, and there's like, I guess one of the stitches on there. Anyway, that's stupid. Okay, anyway, sidetracked. So we were going through New Mexico, and I don't know. I was just being a cranky shit. I was tired of being in the car, and I was kind of being cranky. And sometimes when I'm cranky and I don't feel good, I get car sick. So I want McDonald's French fries. Like, that is what makes me happy, is McDonald's French fries when I'm in the car, even though it fucks my sugar up. And then that makes me worse, but still it makes my tummy happy. So we had to stop and get gas. We couldn't find a McDonald's. And then we pull over, and like one gas station, I don't remember what the one up there had with it, but I was like, I don't want that. That doesn't sound good. My son was like, well, I want Subway. Let's go there. So, you know, I'm in the car. I'm like, I don't want Subway. I don't want to go inside. Like, you know, I'm literally just bitching, right? And so we go inside. I have on like sweatpants, and I'm cranky. I just felt like a cranky shit, right? So we go inside, and we're standing there in line, and the guy in front of me was a truck driver, but he had on a just fantastically beautiful bracelet. I don't know if it was silver or what, but I commented on it because I knew it was in Sanskrit, and I asked, you know, if it was Sanskrit, and he kind of looked at me, and he was like, it is. And he actually took it off and handed it to me to look at, and showed me like the prayer on it and all of the stuff on the inside. Like, it was one of the most beautiful, like, hand-tooled bracelets I had ever seen in my life. It was fantastically beautiful. So that made me feel better, you know? So I get up to the counter to pay for our stuff, and she leans over the counter and she goes, I follow you on TikTok. Like, she whispered. It was so cute. Like, she's just, I follow you on TikTok. I was like, do you really? And she said, yeah. And aside from being recognized like at the mall, in Spencer's and things like that, like, it was the first time somebody like recognized me out and about. And my first thought when you said that was, oh God, I look like shit. Like, I look like shit today. And so I asked if she would like take a picture. And so, yeah, so we took some photos. It was great. It made my whole day. It was fantastic. And yeah, it made me super happy. Made me super happy. So yeah. I'm glad to hear that you're doing so good. I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. I haven't got to I've got to come back through that area of New Mexico, but I didn't remember where it was we stopped. So I didn't stop in again. But I will. I'll be looking for you. If you're still there, you may not still be there, because that was like, what, a year and a half ago. So yeah. But yeah, Santa Rosa. Gotcha. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. I will tell you guys, I'll tell you guys what. I have absolutely fallen in love with New Mexico and Arizona. Y'all are hiding some of the most beautiful places I've ever been. In Monarch. Oh, Moriarty. I know where Moriarty is. To Dimmitt. Awesome. For a good reason, I hope, right? Right? For a good reason? Yeah. And thank you to whoever commented on this. This is one of my favorite bracelets. I bought it last year in New Orleans. It has Libyan desert glass, Herkimer diamonds. It has Colombianite and Moldavite. Like, it is, yeah, it'll make a bitch buzzy. It wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap. I'm just letting you know, like, yeah. So, but it is one of my favorites, and it does have like the piece of Moldavite right next to the Herkimer right there. Like, whoever put this together, oh, they knew what they were doing. All right, I probably ought to get on this. Miss Susie. All right, you ready? Well, you found me, Corey. Yeah, this was my you were a good bitch and you worked really hard present. Does that make sense? That's it. My favorite stone, I don't know that I really have one. Lab usually comes to mind. I have a lot of lab, but I love blue apatite. I love moldavite. I love desert glass. Like I love all the tektites. So yeah. All right. Miss Susie, let me get on it here. I'm so glad you stopped in. You just made my whole evening. Thank you. I'm glad you're doing so well, sweetheart. All right. Focus, Bodhi. Focus. Hey, Raven. How are you? How did everything go? No, I still love Caribbean calcite. It's still a thing. Caribbean calcite. Yeah. Good. I'm so glad. I'm glad that you're doing well. Thank you, Miss Natasha. I appreciate it. Hey, Karen. Thank you. All right. Let me focus. All right, Miss Susie Sue. Otherwise, we're going to get talking about stones, and I'm going to go down a whole other rabbit hole and then be like, oh, shit, I got stuff to do. Yeah. We just need to have a whole live where we just talk about rocks. I think that needs to happen. We just need to have a whole live where we talk about rocks. Yeah. See, look, everybody agrees. All right. Well, I'll schedule that, especially for those of you guys that are subscribers. We need to be having some chatty chats. We need to be having a lot of chatty chats. Just so you guys know, also, those of you guys that are subscribers, y'all are going to start getting road ramblings. I'm just letting you know. I figured I can post them on YouTube. I can also post them on TikTok. I can post them in both places. So, yes, y'all are going to start getting road ramblings. There is one that I posted today that is a public road rambling. So you guys can hear how my road ramblings go. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. But, yeah. Hey, Karen, he is. Yes. We got a lot of them out this weekend. We got a ton out last week, and we have a ton more to go out. I'll actually be at the shop tomorrow on my day off. Yeah. All right. Let me focus. But yeah, my goal is to get everything out before I leave for New Orleans. So that way they don't have to stress about it while I'm gone. You know what I mean? All right. Yeah, I'm in the mood to just talk and chat. Why did I do that? Interesting, Susie. Your first name and your middle name both equal 28, which equal 10, which equals 1. You're a 4. No, you're not. You're a 5. I'm gonna crack. Don't listen to me. 3, 4, 5. Let's do your birthday. I messed up. 7 and a 5. Hey, Lauren, it has been good. All right, so your name path is a 7 and your birth path is a 5. All right. So let's talk about this 5. So 5 is the one we talked about a couple of times. That's very excitable. That has a lot of anxiety, has a lot of nervousness, is always like one side of the fence or the other. Like, I don't like to say wishy-washy, but you can be very two-sided. Like, you can be happy, but at the same time, you can be sad. And you don't know why you are both at the same time. It's not an unlucky number. It's literally in the middle. You know, between 1 and 9, 5 is directly in the middle. So you are someone that you like to change. You don't like things to stay the same. You thrive when things are constantly changing. It might be overwhelming, but you thrive when things are constantly changing. I find it interesting that you are a 5 and a 7, because a 7 is that really mysterious, kind of obscure number that is very misunderstood, that it's very conservative, very retired, very, you don't let people in very easily. But it's the one that's in the world, not of the world. So you love your solitude, you love the seclusion, you love staying away from people, but at the same time, that 5 part of you is like, but I love people at the same time. No, I hate people, but I love people. You know what I mean? You're like, I hate people, but I love people. So you do this flip-flop all the time like this. So these two right here, they kind of pull against each other. They don't really clash, but they pull against each other all the time, because you have like 3/4 of you wants to be, you know, this is my space. I just want to be left alone. I want to do my thing. But that 1/4 of you is like, no, let's be out and about. Let's be with all the people and so on. And so they like pull at each other. The problem is that both of these two right here are very kind of interesting, darker numbers. So, and when I say dark, please don't think evil shit, okay, y'all? It's just they are in kind of the background a little bit. And the issue with both of them is that you can tend to be very, very anxious, very stressed out, very uptight, because you feel all the feels. You see all of the things around a situation. And I would bet that you are an extensive worrier. But even though you overthink everything, you don't overanalyze everything. And so that actually leads to more issues because you overanalyze it. I would absolutely look up these two numbers and see what you can do to kind of even them out in any way, shape, or form. Okay? Maybe I should turn this down. This thing is like, I'm cold if it's off, but I'm hot if it's on. So that makes like no fucking sense. Makes no sense. But here we are. But here we are. All right. Miss Alexandria. All right. We're going to do yours first, and then we'll do Xavier's, okay? You have such a cool name, dude. I just want you to know. I just want you to know. You have such a cool name. Ooh. So your name, I actually am surprised that it's a 9. I figured it was going to be a lot lower than that, but your name equals a 9. So like I figured all of that would equal up to something a little different, but I find that very interesting that it's a 9. All right, so let's see your birth date. How are you a double 9, girl? You literally are a double 9. Your birthday is a 9. Your name is a 9. So you're way more in tune with yourself than you realize. 9 is a very, very universal influence. It's the number of love. It represents the highest essence of universal and personal love. It is, like I said, whereas 1 is the beginning, 9 is the end. And so it represents a lot of genealogy, universality, being very virtuous. 9 is a very, very steadfast number. 9 is also one of those numbers that karmically it ends things. Okay. 9 usually is also perfect balance, whereas 3 is perfect balance. 9 is 3 times 3. You know what I mean? 3 to the third. So there's a lot of expression, a lot of artistic love here, a lot of, you may not like to speak publicly, but you are very good when you speak. Everything comes out exactly how it's supposed to be. Thank you, Sam. 9 is considered the father of all vibrations and the most developed. A name with many 9s is well equipped to face existing circumstances. You have a few 9s, but not a crazy amount of 9s. So you have like 2 in your first name and 2 in your last name. But the fact that you are a double 9, like that's a lot of power there. So here's what I'd recommend. If you've been struggling in life, especially, or trying to figure out like what way to go, what path to go, what you're good at, what you're not going to be good at, look up, when you look up like life path, like good careers for number 9, good career for life path 9, things you should stay away from, etc. Because, girl, having that double 9 there, if you learn to harness that power, like there is no stopping you with the things that you can fix and just be amazing with. I'm serious. There is no stopping you once you unlock that power of that 9. So 9 is going to be absolutely a lucky number for you. It is absolutely going to be a lucky number for you. So if you don't already look for 9s everywhere, I absolutely would. I absolutely would. All right, so let me do Xavier here. All right. Yeah, you got it easy because you can just look up 9 and you know everything there is to know about you. You don't got to look up 2. Thank you for all the kitty scratches. All right, let's do Xavier. Thank you, Kayla. So number-wise, Xavier is a 7, or not number-wise, name-wise, he's a 7. But, oh, wow. But birthday-wise, he's a 1. Okay? So name-wise, he's a 7, meaning that he is very, very prone to a lot of alone time, needing to be alone, more of a mysterious, dark, obscure. They're usually very self-satisfied. They don't need to be around a bunch of people. They are in the world, but not of the world. They don't really like to seek out a lot of glory. They don't really like to have a lot of recognition, but they're very obscure and secretive and hidden and things like that. And then you have the number 1 here. That number 1 life path, that is a leader. So you have someone that's very, very called to be a leader, very in your face, very stubborn. It's my way or the highway. But they also have this need to seclude themselves and to be way back here. So that is somebody that is continually warring with themselves. They are continually I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. It's almost like you have like a dark leader. Does that make sense? Like, I would bet that very kind of could easily be very manipulative, but also can be like the best person to have in your corner when shit is going wrong. You know what I mean? So who is this? Who is this to you? I'm just curious. Is this somebody related to you? Gotcha. Well, now you know how to understand him even better. Just say what I'm saying. So yeah, so look up that life path number 1, the pros and cons, and then the name path number 7, the life path number 7. Like, yeah, is going to tell you all about him. So the good thing is, you being a double 9 and having both of that 9, like, you're very in tune with yourself, and knowing that he kind of wars against himself a lot, it's going to help you ease that. I can see why the two of you are together. I can see why the two of you were drawn together, because you being a double 9, you can handle the seclusion and the darkness and the things that he has in there. And he is really drawn to, you know exactly who you are. So I can see why the two of you went like that. I can totally see that. But yeah, now you got a cheat sheet. A nurse and a therapist. Gotcha. Of course you are. Of course you are. Yeah. I can see why the two of you are together. When you do some when you do some research about like the pros and cons of the number 1 and the number 7, and kind of see how they clash, it'll give you a lot of headway into those times when he really pulls away. Yeah. You'll be able to handle it better, if that makes sense. You are welcome so much. So your boxes haven't gone out yet, because we have to pack that lab tower really carefully. Like, I don't want it broken. Like, that thing is so gorgeous and flashy, but all your stuff is going out like Tuesday and Wednesday, just so you know. But yeah, I also may have put a couple extra things in there too. Just saying what I'm saying. Just saying what I'm saying. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. All right. Oh, let me check that in, because I'm going to be like, wait, I already did that one. Of course you did, dumbass. You just didn't go and check it in. All right. Colette. I'm getting hungry. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for the New Orleans boxes. Computer, I would like for you to work. I would like for you to do the things. Son of a bitch. All right, here we go. I haven't done the New Orleans boxes in a couple of years, and I'm really excited. Hey, Spicy Mama, how are you? All right. Focus, Bodie. Focus. Colette, you have, oh, thank you, Serena. You have a very common middle name. I have already done this middle name like 4 times this evening. So I'm just saying what I'm saying. You are not alone in hearing that screamed at you when you got in trouble. I swear, anything that ends with the E sound, you know, it has that upswing. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying. Yeah, I think anything that ends with like I, E, or Y, those ones right there. The other one's kind of like the other vowels, like if it ends with a different vowel, it's like a swift cut. You know what I mean? Aw, thank you guys. But y'all, if you guys have one of those that ends with an I, E, or Y, you know exactly. There's like an uptick with that vowel sound. You know exactly. La Renee. You see what I'm saying? Like that one. Yeah, Marie. Yeah, you see it. You have to do it like that. You know what I mean? Because like if it's like and, it's like and. Like that one's a cutoff. But E or I or Y, it's an upswing. You know what I mean? And it's like, son of a bitch. Like they drag it out. Yeah, exactly. Renee. Yeah. Yep. Yep. See, all of y'all that have middle names in like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, I got to focus. I got to focus. It's this music. It's making me want to like talk and do all the things. I've been in a talky mood today. See, I had to turn it off. Now I'm cold. Feels way later than it actually is. Maybe because I've like had a long day and I've been like running. Well, your name path is a number 1. And your birth date path is an 8. So let's talk about that. We're going to talk about, you want to talk about the number 1 first? I mean, we've talked about the number 1 a few different times, but the number 1 is like very strong, very masculine, very creative, very forceful, very individualistic words. Woohoo! very bold, like a very, very leadership oriented person. Kind of my way or the highway. 1 is the foundation stone. It is the first number. Very dominating, very stubborn, sometimes refuses to see difficulties. But here's the good thing, even though number 1s are very stubborn, they are the ones that they don't mind being in the front row. They don't mind being first. They're happy to go first. The thing about a number 1 is this, that number 1s also can, when a problem, an obstacle, a barrier, something like that comes up, like, they are happy to just roll right the fuck over it. Like, right the fuck over it. Like, they don't worry about it. They just go. They just go. The number 8 is interesting, that being your birth date number. 8, like, you are such a logical person. It's not even funny. You are such a logical person. Because 8 is that, like, very scientific, very mental number. It's very material oriented, business, success. It's a very, very high vibration of accomplishment. Like, you want to always see, you need to see goals happening. You need to see things going forward. And when you feel like you are successful in that moment right then you it's like your power goes through the roof. So this pairing right here, the 1 and the 8 together, is like a dream pairing. Like, you are so powerful and so confident in your own path that it does come across wrong to a lot of people. And it's going to be where a lot of people see you as intimidating. They see you as like too stubborn. You don't want to listen. You don't whatever. But when it comes to a leadership role, when it comes to a leadership position, making the hard decisions, you're all about it. You have no problem doing it. It might suck, and it might, internally, you might struggle and really have a problem with it. But in the moment, you have no problem doing it. Like, you are the one that if there is a panic, something going on, you are the one that's like, all right, fucking shut up, stop. Like, this is what we're going to do. Like, you have no problem taking charge. That is like an amazing pairing right there, Colette, just saying. So look those 2 up. 8 is your birth path, your life path, and 1 is your name life path. Okay? So your parents did a really good job naming you on that day. I'm just saying. Just saying what I'm saying. All right, so that page is full. You are so much. You're so welcome. I just was gonna. You are so much. You're welcome so much. You're welcome so much. Yeah. Yeah, 1 and 8 is an amazing pairing. 1 and 8 is an amazing pairing. All right. Who's next? Rebecca. Yeah, girl, all you got to do is look at the, like, if you're struggling with anything, all you got to do is look at, like, what the pros are for both of those and what the cons are. So that way, all you got to do is see how you handle those cons. Does that make sense? So, yeah. Hey, Raven. What protection box? Send me a message, okay? Because it's not, like, my brain is not braining. All right. Miss Rebecca. I had to get back on my list. I'm like, where's... So 11 isn't a number. It's 1 through 9. If you're looking at a life path number, it is 1 through 9. So if everything equals 11, then it's a 2. You add those 2 numbers together. You have to add all the numbers together until you get down to a single number. All right, Miss Rebecca. Ready? Here we go. Thank you, Miss Sandra. So your name path is a 6. And you are a double 6. You are a double 6. So your name is a 6 and your birthday is a 6. Interesting. Thank you, Miss Angela. I had a different one on this morning and decided to go with that one instead. All right. We haven't really talked about the number 6. 6 is very similar to 2 in that it's a very peace-loving, very optimistic, very joy-giving, kind and considerate numbers. It differentiates from the number 2 a lot in scope in that it has a bigger orbit than a lot of numbers do. So it has a very wide range of loves and influences, such as like arts, philanthropy, intuition, inspiration, very intense, strong intuition with people that have a 6. So the fact that your birth date and your name are both 6, that's awesome. 6s are very trusted. Like people just automatically trust you. For even when you're like, why you don't even know me? Like, why are you trusting me? 6 also needs friends. 6 needs a support system. Even if it's just like one person, they need a support system. Because what's awesome about it is that support system pushes their abilities and everything even higher. They're more of a universal influence. 6s don't have a lot of financial influences, so they tend to struggle right there a little bit. But 6 is very comforting. Like 6s are people that other people instantly like, instantly trust. You probably have a lot of people that tell you their entire life story, especially with that intuition being such a boost. So it's really interesting, Miss Rebecca, that you are a double 6. The good thing about it, like I said, with the double 9 there, is that all you have to do is look up life path number 6. Like your parents did a great job putting that together. It's good and it's bad. Like when you have your name and your birth path that are all the same number, it's good because it's one thing. That's all you got to worry about is that one thing. But it's bad in that it's one thing and that's it. And there's nothing in between. So it can sometimes be very focused, very laser focused. All right, Miss Ruth is next. So everybody changes names. Not everybody, but most people, especially women, change names. So you can redo it later. But hey, Yelp, I'll probably be doing this again next Sunday. If you guys are not following me, like it's subscribing, but it doesn't cost you anything. I don't know why they call it subscribing, but whatever. On my link tree. So if you go on the link on my profile, either here on YouTube or here on TikTok, you can subscribe to that. I send out kind of first dibs. I send out first dibs tickets on that and on my website. So when I put a new event up, those of you guys that are members of my website, you usually get first dibs on those. And then people that are members on Linktree, yeah. Yeah. All right, Miss Ruth. So life path for your name is a number 3. But birthday is a 7. So name-wise, it's a number 3 because it equals 21 altogether. And then birthday is 25, so it's a 7. All right. So let's look at the number 3 first, because I can't really remember. So 3 is a number of expression, of enunciation. You are very, very vocal with things. You like acting, singing, writing, dancing, artistic, any type of vocal expression. Very happy, very cheery. You bring a lot of joy and pleasure to everyone else. Like, you tend to be very hedonistic sometimes, especially when it comes to your own happiness and so on. 3 is like the joy-giving number. Like, you make so many other people around you just happy. As far as 7 goes, 7 is like that very dark, mysterious number. So you're kind of the you're like smoked oranges. I mean, I don't know. Like, oranges are a happy fruit. They represent happiness. But that 7 is that kind of dark, stoic, mystic, very outwardly poised. Like, you are a very interesting enigma. I would bet people get very obsessed with you, because that 7 is going to be the first thing that they meet, that they see when they come up against you. So they get that, like, that mystery, that secret aspect of you, because you're not just forthcoming with all of the happy stuff. Like, they have to get to know you a little bit but they know something else is under there. And then when they see that it's all this amazing happiness, like, you are absolutely an enigma, and people get addicted to enigmas because they want to figure them out. So people get super, super addicted to you, Miss Ruth. I mean, it's ridiculous. So be really careful. But absolutely look up that number 7 and delve down into that, and then look up that number 3 and delve down into that, because I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying, Miss Ruth. All right, Miss Penny M is next. All right, I got to write small for yours, since you got the 4 names as well. Woo! So name-wise, you're an 8. Just saying. Oh, master numbers are a whole other rabbit hole. They are a whole other rabbit hole. Name-wise, you're an 8. So let's look at birthday. Birthday-wise, you're a 4. Interesting. So we already talked a little bit about 8. 8 is that very, very intense, scientific, logical, mental, business, achievement, success. Like, it's a great number. It's an amazing number for success, actually. Accomplishment, like, you are very, very, very driven. So I find it really interesting that you have the 8 and then the 4. 4 is very creative. It's a very physical number. It's very, very strong, very heavy, very stubborn, very, very tethered here. So these 2 numbers actually go really, really well together, but the problem is that they can work too well together. And so you tend to get too grounded. So all those times when you feel like you are, you're ungrounded, that you're not able to ground yourself correctly, and you find yourself in a rut, it's because you are too grounded. You are too stuck in one way, one path. Okay. So while they go extremely well together, they go extremely well together. Does that make sense? So your name number is an 8. Your birthday number is a 4. Okay. I think that I'm going to email all of these to you guys tomorrow, because I mean, I know it's on YouTube for you guys to watch it, but I want to make sure that you have it too. So I'll probably email all of these to you guys tomorrow too. So yeah. All right. Next is Miss Rita. Oh, I do have Alicia. I was like, I don't have Alicia. Yes, I do. You already wrote it down. Calm down. Calm down. All right, Miss Rita. See, I could sit and do these all day. As much as I hate math, I love these. It's like the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. You know what I mean? Someone explain that. I don't know. Well, name path, you're a 1. Oh, you're a fantastic combination. You're an 8 and a 1. Your name is a 1 and your birthday is an 8. Like, that is a super insane combination. I think we've had a couple other people that were a 1 and an 8, because that 1 is that leader that's driven. They're very goal oriented. They're very stubborn. They're very like stick their head down and go, 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 go. They roll right over all of the obstacles that come into their path. But the 8 is very logical, very scientific, very goal oriented. Whereas the number 1 is a leader and goal oriented, and number 8 is like, you need all the little goals. And when you feel like you are successful and you're hitting all those goals, your confidence goes through the roof. So that right there is a very stubborn, amazing, powerful pairing when it is an 8 and a 1. So definitely look at those two, because the problem is both of those, I mean, every single number has a good and a bad with it. There's not one that's like, oh, this one's perfect and this one sucks. They all have perfect things and they all have sucky things. It's balance. Okay. So look that up, Miss Rita, because, okay, what? Oh, I must have ended that playlist, because I was like, whoa, wait. Why suddenly is it like super slow, calm meditation music? Like, I'm gonna go sleep. No. We've been on here 2 hours? Nope, an hour and 40 minutes. So yeah, Miss Rita, you're an amazing combination. You're an amazing combination. All right, Miss Shelley. Ready? So name-wise, you are a 4. Let's look at birthday-wise. And name-wise and birth-wise, you're a 4. Both of them are 4s. So you're a double 4. So 4 is that very physical, very creative, very tenacious, very grounded earth number. It's the number is the vibration of temperament, individuality, concentration. You love your things. You love your things. Chances are you have several things that you collect. I mean, it's obviously a good pairing because it's the same number, but the problem is that those pros are going to be fantastic. They're going to be fantastic, but those cons are going to be really, really heavy, because instead of having 2 separate numbers where you have pros and cons from each one that could cancel each other out, like with the 8 and the 1, you have all of the cons. They're doubled. Okay. So like say stubbornness is a con on number 4, because it is, that's doubled. So a lot of times, since you are a double 4, sometimes you're going to have problems seeing other people's sides of the thing. Other people's side of a situation. But it's a very interesting number. It's a very interesting number. Like, I used to love the number 4. It used to be my lucky number, my favorite number. And it's not so much anymore. I used to only like even numbers. It's really weird. I was very specific with it too. Like, the TV had to be on an even number. The car had to be on an even number. Like, and now I still do it, especially with the car. I like it being on an even number on the volume. But I'm not as bad as I used to be. I don't understand why it's that way, but it just is. It's stupid. It just is. It's stupid. All right, Miss Shelley. So you are a double 4. You are a double 4. Miss Alicia, you're next. And I just passed right by your name because I can't read, apparently. Well, then you got here just at the right time, love. All right. So name path number is a 7. Ooh, you clash with yourself so much. You clash with yourself so much because your name path is a 7, but your birth date path is an 8. So that 8, as we've already talked about, well, I don't think you really clash with yourself, but you are really, really secretive. Okay. So yeah. Alicia B is who I'm on. So yeah, making sure I read that right. Okay. that number 8 is that very scientific, that very very analytical, very mental, very business minded, very success minded, very accomplishment minded, like very, very driven number. That 8 is really what drives you a lot because that's your birthday. But the 7 is that kind of darker number where you're very conservative, you're very you need your solitude, you need your seclusion, you don't want people in your space. Like these two actually really fight against each other because whereas 8 is a number of goals and of business and of pushing forward, that 7 is not. That 7 is not. That 7 just wants to chill and just wants to watch everybody else and be back in the shadows and I just want to watch and I just want to be detailed. Now, both of them are very, very detail oriented, so that's a good thing. But you want to push forward and at the same time, you're like, I just want to watch the world burn over here. Like that's exactly how it is. I want to watch the world burn. But I also want to move forward and do all this stuff. You know what I mean? So you war with yourself a lot. You war with yourself a lot. I am going to say this. Even though that 7 is not really indicative of a lot of starting big business things and being an entrepreneur, the 8 is. The 8 is what pushes you forward more than anything else. I love that. So that person that just came in and wanted to be a troll and be hateful then decided to follow me after you muted them. So, I mean, the thing is, like, I can see that you're doing that. So why don't I just block you preemptively? Like, I don't need you following me. If you're going to bring that kind of bullshit in here, nah, go on somewhere else. You know what I mean? I don't understand. It is what it is. I mean, if that's what you need to do, is what you need to do. You have at it. But all right, Miss Alicia, honey. There is a way for that 7 and that 8 to work together in an amazing way. Especially if you really, really embrace that watcher aspect, that dark aspect, and you put that with your goals. I would bet you are really, really a scary mofo when it comes to finding information on people. I would bet that when you are driven to find information on people, like nothing is going to stop you. I'm just saying what I'm saying. You and Mustang would get along really well. Y'all should be friends. Actually, no. You shouldn't because she's really scary with finding stuff out about people too. Yeah. Thank you, Val. So that's what, so Alicia, your homework is to, go through, look up that life path number 8 because that's your birthday. So that's going to be the really strong one. And then look up the number 7. So yeah. That way you can look at the pros and cons of each one. All right. I have Miss Dawn and Miss Renee. 7 is that darker, that just watcher aspect. The 8 is the driven, pushing forward, goal. And the other one is that let's just kind of watch. Let's just take some details down. So yeah. Here's what I love the most about all of this is that by giving you guys these numbers, it's pretty easy to find your birth number, but finding your name number takes a minute. I mean, as you guys can see from like it takes a minute to decipher each single letter and put them there and then mathing. Y'all are going to find out so much about yourself Y'all are going to find out an amazing amount about yourself, just so you know. Just so you know. And you're totally going to fall down the rabbit hole. I'm just letting you know, y'all will totally fall down the rabbit hole about this. All right, Miss Dawn. I can't math correctly. It's funny, both your middle name and your last name equal 20, which is number 2. So all that together, you are a number, you're a 1 because your first name is a 6, then a 2, then a 2. So yeah, it's 10, which equals 1. So your first one is a 1. I love you, Sylvie. Yeah, all of y'all that are finding out your numbers, y'all are all gonna be Alice. I'm just letting you know, you will be. You'll start really delving into it and seeing like what your lucky numbers are, what numbers you need to stay away from. Like, I'm serious, y'all just fell down the numerology rabbit hole. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You are a double 1. Oh my God. Nobody gets to fight with Dawn. Nobody gets to fight with Dawn because her birth date number is a 1 and her name number is a 1. You are so hard-headed, it's not even funny. You are so hard-headed, it is not even funny. You are absolutely, I will not take no for an answer. You could probably sell ice to a polar bear. Like, yeah, you could sell a heated blanket in the middle of the desert in the summer. That is you. You will not take no for an answer. Number 1s are natural rulers. So what's funny about a number 1 is this, that they don't take no for an answer. They may say that they're going to take no for an answer, but they're going to turn around and do it anyway. Like, they're going to do it anyway. They're not going to, they may outwardly go, okay, you're right. Then they're going to do it anyway. They're going to do it anyway. But the thing about a number 1 is this, they are very tenacious. They do not give up very easily, if at all. If at all. Yeah, if at all. They don't give up very easily. Number 1s are the people that handle all of the problems in the family, in the friend group, in the office. Like, number 1s are the ones that people go to when there's a problem. Number 1s are the ones that people go to when there's any kind of issue at all. And number 1s also tend to have issues with anxiety because everybody comes to them with their problems. So be careful with that, Dawn. Be careful with that. And I saw you say that you're a wallflower. I guarantee you, if you start putting your number 1s to work for you, yeah, you will be absolutely unstoppable. Just letting you know. Why'd you say shut the front door? Was I right? Was I right on about the anxiety and everybody coming to you with their problems? Just saying what I'm saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. especially being that double one. Yeah. Yeah. Man, I have this ring that I love so much, and I really need to go get it fixed. Yeah, when you guys really fall down the rabbit hole about your number, yeah. You can, Judge, you can. Yep. No, it's been a completely wild week, Ian. A wild 3, 4 weeks. Yeah, it's been in freaking zane. In freaking zane. Yeah. You put that number 1 to work for you, Miss Dawn, and there's no stopping you. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. So here is the good thing. Here is the good thing about it is that by knowing your zodiac, by knowing your life path number from your birthday and from your name, that right there gives you a solid blueprint to who you are, where your weaknesses lie, where your strengths lie. Like, I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. All right. Miss Renee. Miss Renee G, you're my last one. All right. No, why did it do that? That's so weird. I checked you in, and then when I went to click on you, it put me on Renee L. The hell? Oh my God, I love your first name. I love your first name. My kid had a really good friend in 3rd grade with that name, and I love that name. I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool. All right. Here we go. Well, your first and your second name both equal 29, which is the number 11, which is the number 2. That's really funny. We've had a few of you guys like that today. It was very symmetrical like that. So your your name number is a 7 because you have 322. Aw. I'm glad it could help, Jessica, honey. But your birthday number is a 6. So that looked like a 2 turned around, but okay. We haven't had a lot of 6s this evening. That's really interesting. So you really, really fight with yourself. You really, really fight with yourself, Miss Renee. You want to be loving. You want to be nurturing. You want to be, You want to share all of that good stuff, all of the love. You want to make everybody happy, but at the same time, you have this like intense darkness in there. So you literally are yin and yang. But I would bet up to this point, those things have been like warring. They've either been butting heads or they've been trying to pull each other apart. Because, and I'm not going to like preach about balance or anything, but I want you to think about it. So if there were numbers, if you assigned white or black, good or bad, light or dark, let's just say light or dark, okay, to all of these numbers, 6 would absolutely be white and 7 would absolutely be black, light and dark, because 6 is a number of love, of happiness, of intuition, of very universal. It's a number that makes people instantly comfortable, instantly happy, instantly relaxed around you. But then you have that number 7, which would be that darker aspect, which is very secretive and obscure and you know, very in the world but not of the world, very hidden, and you need your space and your privacy and so on. So like, you really fight against yourself. You really fight against yourself. And I think if you just find a way, seriously, fall down the rabbit hole of what the 6 is, because the 6 is what affects you the most, okay? That 6 is your birthday. That's your birth path number. The 7 is your name number, okay? Fall down the rabbit hole of the pros and cons of those two and see where they mesh. They cancel each other out more than you realize. And so by learning to use the two of those together along with your zodiac and so on, you have the potential to be more balanced than you ever believe you could, because you have the light and you have the dark. So you literally have the potential to be perfectly balanced, if that is all possible. Does that make sense? Because the cons for those are going to wash each other out. So I love that you were my last one. I love that you were my last one. That makes me so happy. For those of you guys on YouTube over here, I am going to end my live for this evening, and I